All right. Hello. Hello, everybody. It's been a while, and I am back ready to do some Ferocious battles. I have three teams that I have kind of came upon. Some of them require a little bit of dust, some IV management, some trading. Not quite ready for some of them. But this is the one that I had. So it has some strange picks. The Alolan Marowak mainly. But I think it's a pretty complementary team overall. These guys all seem to work together pretty well, and probably would prefer to have a Minun instead of a Raichu, but that's okay. And in this case, I would not. I would prefer a Raichu because there's a Ursaring, there's a Lairon, there's a Ninetales, there's a Lanoon, and I can brick break all of those boys. So we're definitely running the Raichu. Now, let's jump on over to the game. We should have an invite here from Cloud Kernel. This is round one of the Ferocious. So, let's see how we do. It's going to be... We're going to run the Raichu no matter what. Sandslash doesn't look the best here. They have a counter user... Lanoon has Grass Knot and some other... it's Grass Knot and then Not Thunder. I forget the other one. I'm running it on my Lanoon, I just forget. Lairon has Body Slam and usually like a metal move. Heavy Slam, I think. So, Ninetales. Ninetales is interesting. So, what if I run Marowak? Marowak can burn the Ninetales and the Lairon. Do quite a bit of resisting there, and I think Marowak actually looks pretty good. Gets melted by the Lanoon though. The Shadow Claw damage, it's not stab, but it hurts. I think it's still okay. And then I could honestly just maybe go. I could maybe just go Umbreon. If their Umbreon doesn't have Last Resort, then I win. Ursaring has counter, so I just have to dodge that, but my two here can kind of deal with that, can kind of hang with that guy. And then, yeah, I mean, I can kind of deal with the Vaporeon in a different way. Yeah, this looks pretty good. I'm not tripping too much about this Umbreon. I think it'll be fine. So, let's not use it as a safe switch, though. Let's use Raichu as a safe switch. So we're going to lead with... what's the opponent going to lead with? They probably don't lead with Lairon. A lot of people like to wait for Ninetales to switch in. So I'm assuming then I could lead with... Umbreon seems okay. The only thing that worries me is the opposing... I'm actually going to go like this. I'm going to go Ninetales here. The reason being is because I do not want to get Ninetales in the lead. And I don't have anything to really switch into Ninetales that's like super strong. And I don't think they're going to lead with Lairon. So they didn't, so that's good. So there we go. Now, what I do want is I want to throw like a Raichu at this Ursaring, right? Like that would be great. The issue, I have no idea what this charge move is, but I'm probably just going to block it. Play rough. Yeah, that would have done a lot. Okay, cool. Okay, got him. And we have a side shock for later. Nothing kills me too quickly, so I don't need to spam my charge moves. I can kind of just fast move and wait and make a decision later. I don't need to guess. The side shock here seems okay. Seems reasonable. It's going to do quite a bit. I'm just going to charm down. Seems fine. Okay. Now, I can absorb a lot of the charm damage and probably just farm down the Ninetales with the Marowak and then use his energy to get through the two shields. I'm going to have to block this attack. Okay, interesting. Okay, it's an Umbreon. This is a problem. Yes. Yes, this is a problem. Alright, we're going Raichu, and we're going Brick Break forever. I don't think this is going to work. It's probably a foul play again. It's fine. I'm sort of debating on like, maybe I just throw 3 wild charges. I'm not sure if I can get to 3 before the opponent can. Oh, that's really good. I think I'm just going to go wild charge here. So I block this and then go wild charge, and then Marowak can do, geez, I don't know. This is kind of scary. I don't think the wild charge is going to do a lot to Umbreon, but it's kind of all that I have. And then I should be, oh, this is not good. So that was actually really good by the opponent to switch there. My switch timer wasn't quite up yet, and my Raichu was going to die. And then I know I probably shouldn't stay in here and farm like this, but it honestly just doesn't matter. Like I'm gonna die to this charge move, and this energy doesn't kill Umbreon, not even in the slightest. Like I have 100 energy or whatever, these Bone Clubs are gonna do nothing. So I really had to rely on the wild charge hitting, and that last minute switch there forced me like I couldn't possibly match my wild charge up to the Umbreon at that point. Like it was just impossible. The Umbreon was completely safe from it. So, yeah, so Marowak had a little bit of issues. Unfortunately, what we didn't get to confirm if Umbreon had Last Resort or not. All we saw is Foul Play. If we see both movesets, then we can confirm. So the opponent had Ursaring, Ninetales, Umbreon. Interesting. So, I think Ninetales in the beginning certainly worked out. I won the lead, but just Marowak just couldn't bring it together with his charge moves. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird one. It's a weird problem. So Marowak's charge moves really don't work against Linoone and Ursaring and Umbreon. So I guess I'm not sure why I brought it. So in hindsight, that was probably bad. So we can just do Umbreon, Ninetales, Raichu. Because Umbreon and Ninetales are strong, and Raichu is pretty good versus his team. So there we go. We can do... Let's see. What would force the Lairon to come out? The Lairon would come out versus a Ninetales. No, I'm gonna lead with Umbreon. I'm not gonna lead with Ninetales again because if the opponent thinks that there it is. Okay. If the opponent thinks that I am sorry, one sec. Let me get this going. If they think that I'm leading with Ninetales again, then the issue is my Ninetales might get matched up versus Lairon. Normally, they keep it in the back to lock the Lairon into the Ninetales and like farm it. So it's very uncommon to lead Lairon, but I showed a Ninetales lead last game, and my opponent might just lead Lairon. And if they do, I'm really not sure what I'm supposed to do. If I switch to Umbreon, they switch to their Ninetales and it's bad. If I switch to Raichu, it might just be okay. They could switch to their own Umbreon. So, I don't know. I just like the Umbreon lead. And then hoping it's not a Ninetales lead. That's kind of the thing here. I definitely feel like my team outdrafts my opponent's team a little bit. But, yeah. Okay, so this is cool. So we have Last Resort for the mirror. Thing is, the opponent's Umbreon is actually pretty high CP, so either they got really... Yeah, now the opponent knows they can't win this. Okay. So I'm just going to switch in here and just bust this guy up, so all good. All good in this particular hood. I think it's a Body Slam, and I don't think it KOs, so whatever. Easy, easy. Let's farm. All right. We got a decent chunk of energy now. We are cooking. So, very good. So the opponent basically just told us, hey, I don't have Last Resort. That's what the opponent said. They were like, hey, my Umbreon does not have Last Resort. Because they switched out early. And I also kind of knew that because the CP was pretty close to whatever. The good number. 1500. My brain's not working. Pretty close to 1500. And so... yeah, I used a shield there only because my opponent shielded and I wanted switch advantage. And then I can probably just drop a wild charge into this Umbreon and it'll be okay. So, honestly, I can probably drop 2 wild charges into this Umbreon. Force him to use some energy. Nope, he didn't. Okay, sounds good. Gonna do another one. Let's do it. Am I stressing you out by doing circles on the electric one? Oh, this sucks. I was just talking about this. When you try to use your charge move to stop your opponent from using their charge move, and then the opponent gets one off first, and then you're stuck in a CMP tie, and then it makes you fire it anyways. It's like super, super game losing, and I hate it. So, yeah. Okay, just going to go with my Ninetales, and we'll just kind of click these buttons for a while. This doesn't really matter too much. Like, it's okay. But then I can just Last Resort. Finish this, and then I have the Umbreon versus Umbreon matchup. Realistically, I shouldn't. It was kind of a mistake to bring the... So, the reason I brought the Umbreon into the Umbreon is because if I brought the Ninetales into the Umbreon, then it kind of sucks that I had to reveal Last Resort, but I think it's pretty obvious. My Umbreon's at like 1474 CP, so it's pretty bad. There's something to be said for just waiting around and letting my opponent fire off charge moves to see if they're ever going to use a different charge move. So I kind of want to know. I kind of want to confirm the second one. I've more or less confirmed it, but I'd like to actually confirm it. I am going to shield here. If it is a Last Resort, I might die. But yeah, so, wow, I don't even think my opponent has 2 charge moves. It's possible. Or they're just not using it. It's not like it's required on Umbreon, but it is nice to have a slightly harder hitting Dark Pulse. It helps out in certain matchups like Vaporeon and I think there's one other one that it really wants the Dark Pulse for. Minun, little electric dude. So yeah, basically what I was saying there is the reason I brought Umbreon in, I could have brought the Ninetales in, right? Super effective against the opponent's Umbreon. The problem is if they throw some charge moves, what am I going to do on Ninetales? Am I going to block the charge moves? I don't know. Like, Foul Play doesn't hurt that much, but there's kind of a possibility that it, that it sucks for me, right? And then it takes my health lower, and then they do an Umbreon versus Umbreon, a Ninetales. Then the opponent swaps the Ninetales in, and then my only option is to stay in or to swap to my Umbreon and throw Last Resorts at their Ninetales. And honestly, I would just rather my opponent switch lock their Ninetales against me, and then I switch lock my Ninetales against them. And then if my opponent had a different Pokemon in the back, then it'd be fine. Like I already took care of the Ninetales hard counter with the Lairon, so I felt like Ninetales was just gonna be really good against their third, and I didn't know what they had. So we like Raichu, we like Umbreon, we like these 3. Do we like anything else? Do we think the opponent's going to respond to this in any way? They don't really have a good way to answer Raichu except to run like Linoone or Umbreon, those kinds of things. It really Ninetales, and they're typically running 2 of those 3. So really, Raichu kind of has like a 1 in 3 chance of being good against whatever their other one is, which is nice. But it doesn't mean Raichu's a god. It doesn't mean he's amazing. It just means he's pretty good. So if he has problems versus Umbreon and Linoone, then I don't know. There's a chance that I just run the Bibarel against, I don't know. The opponent has like a decent amount of stuff that gets kind of shredded by that. Lanoon even beats, or Bibarel even beats Lanoon, so I don't know. It could be good. I think I'm just gonna run it. I'm just gonna run it as like a safe switch kind of a thing, because I don't think my opponent's gonna be quite ready for it. So put it there. The Umbreon is pretty good, but the Ninetales is hard to kill. So I actually think I want a Ninetales of my own. So I'm gonna go like this, and just bank that the hard counter against Ninetales doesn't start. Ah, right. I forgot that this opponent doesn't do the rematches very much. So we'll get the third one going. We'll get back in here. I really need to make teams again. I just don't have any saved teams because I I was doing like the recommended battles or whatever, where you just like, it just randomizes your guys and you just battle. Those are fun. So I deleted all my groups out and I just haven't put them back in, but I probably should for this cup. I do have some lines that I kind of think are good or flexible or decent or whatever. Okay, sucks, right? So we got matched up against the hard counter. So what we're going to do is switch to Bibarel here. We're just going to water. Yep, there's the Umbreon. It's fine. It's going to be a foul play. So what I need to do is figure out how am I going to kill this Lairon. Okay. So, just trying to think. I have Umbreon, Ninetales. Umbreon kills the Lairon. What I can actually do is force my opponent to use... So come on. Use your energy. Kill me, right? Then I use my own Ninetales versus this, right? So I die. I use the Ninetales while he's switch locked. Here we go. I don't care about this because the Ninetales is a liability, right? The Ninetales is like, hey, I am not super useful against Lairon. Okay, my opponent made a switch. There's the Lairon. Okay, so we get the Umbreon and we deal with it. It's probably a body slam. I don't know if I care. I think I'm just going to let it happen. It's not too much damage. Sure, it's another one. That's fine. I'm going to do one shield in case they have a Charmer in the back, and I don't want to die with like full shields. Whew, alright, stressful. So, if the opponent shields here, it's kind of really interesting. I don't think they would, but if they do, it's pretty, yeah. Okay, cool. Got it. So I think we farmed pretty well there. Okay, and that's the Ninetales. So, what we have is the ability to... Oh, yep, I need to decide my team for my other gut. Okay. Cool. Okay, we got one more charge move off. It wasn't the right one. It wasn't the one we wanted, but it was a charge move. So, cool. I knew it was a Charmer. Okay, this Psyshock is not going to do enough to kill, but... Yeah, I think I lost this one. Oh, maybe it's close. Okay, oh, that's actually super good. So my opponent used a fast move, right? They used a charge move, which does 0 damage, and then my charm actually does enough to take them out, and then I believe the last one here is an Umbreon that also dies. There we go, GG. So I believe right there my opponent actually gave me the entire series. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not flaming. My opponent actually played pretty well there throughout the whole series. Like props, like I have good competitors in my lobby, which is awesome. But I think what happened there is that Ninetales threw a charge move and I got a charm in. So I got a fast move which does a lot of damage. They got a charge move, which does 1 damage. 1 damage with shields. So, so I essentially got 1 extra huge hard-hitting move, and then the opponent was never, ever going to get a charge move on the Umbreon against the Ninetales, so they didn't really need to remove the shield so they could be like, oh, I'm going to Psychic you, and then I'm going to Foul Play you, right? That wasn't really in the cards. So instead, you just don't throw charge moves. You just use the fast move, and we probably would have simultaneously KO'd, or at the very least, I would have had like super low HP, and he could have killed me with like a couple of snarls, and he would have won. So, yeah, that was crazy. So keep that in mind, folks. Use your fast moves. Be very, very mindful of your fast moves and how much damage they actually do compared to your charge moves, because sometimes don't use your energy. It's actually just better. So GG's to my opponent. That was great. I'm glad I took the first series. An interesting team. An interesting team indeed. And I think that was generally a tough draft for my opponent. That was pretty rough to go against the Raichu and stuff. I think the Raichu like really had a big number against my opponent. A lot of people aren't banking that someone's bringing Electric now. They're kind of Electric's rotating out of the meta. And then as a result, if you bring one, you might go up against people with like 2 waters or Lairon or, normal types and stuff like that. So it is pretty cool. So, GG's. Stay tuned for more battles. And, I'll catch you later.